This is a steal for the Cincinnati Bengals as they get 2 positions of need in day 2 of the NFL Draft. Thank you so much for watching the Bengals Digest channel again. I'm Carson Lokey. In day 2, not exactly what I expected. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get out my day 2 predictions before the draft actually started. But I would be honest, it was not what I was expecting. But I'm not mad at all where the Cincinnati Bengals are going. And there's Cowboy in the background, if you can see him. But before I jump into the picks and what I think they mean and why I like them, don't forget to subscribe to the Bengals Digest channel. We're on the road to 1,500 subscribers. We're about to reach 1,200. I can't thank you all so much for the love you've shown this channel. I appreciate it more than you ever know. And I know 73% of you watching right now are not subscribed. And yes, I can tell that because it is in my analytics. Subscribe to the Bengals Digest channel. It means more than you know. But let's jump right into it. First pick of day 2. Round number 2, the Cincinnati Bengals selected the linebacker out of South Carolina, Demetrius Knight Jr. Absolutely. At first, I will not lie. At first, I was kind of like, because I was shocked. Day 2, round 2, I wanted either offensive guard from Georgia, Tate Ratledge, or safety from Notre Dame, Xavier Watts. And both were available when we picked. And I was like, okay, one of the two has to be here for the Cincinnati Bengals round 2. It was neither of them. Actually, we had a chance to get them both times and opted out of it both times. But we ended up going with linebacker Demetrius Knight Jr., who's essentially the replacement for Jermaine Pratt. It is clear with this pick that Jermaine Pratt probably is going to be cut or released or traded or whatever and will not be a Bengal next year. This is his replacement. Last season, 2024, had 82 total tackles, 57 solo, 1 pass deflected, 2 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 1 interception. PFF grade-wise, it was around 70, 80, 79, 80, if I remember correctly. And why I love this pick is because he can do it all. You can put him in the outside. You can put him in the middle. He can do it all. He is all over the field. He is a ball hawk, and he fits Al Golden's scheme actually perfectly. He likes to turn over the ball. And if you don't remember, Al Golden was the Cincinnati Bengals' former linebackers coach. Before he went to Notre Dame to be the defensive coordinator, he was at Cincinnati as the linebacker coach. He was the coach that coached up Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt. Now, he said, Al Golden, coming from himself, this was the guy he wanted at linebacker. And they couldn't wait anymore. You might be thinking we could have got him in the 3rd round. You might be right. They didn't want to wait anymore. They were stressed out that it wasn't going to be there, and they just wanted to get him. And it turned out, honestly, for the better. What they ended up doing in the 3rd round, it worked out. But why Knight is a steal is his character. So if you don't know, he is 24 years old. And you might think that's a little bit old, but he started out as a local recruit. Last season, he transferred to South Carolina. He only spent 1 year at South Carolina, his last year in college. And in 1 year, he was only there for a few weeks. He got named the defensive captain and was voted the MVP of the defense, which Al Golden said was one of the best defenses in college. And yes, I agree. One of the best defenses in college. Demetrius Knight Jr. was the MVP of that defense, and he was the defensive captain. After being there for only a few weeks, he was named the defensive captain. The Cincinnati Bengals are going after leadership in this draft. It is very clear they are staying clear or steering away from the players that have had character issues. That's why I think they passed up on Mike Green twice because of the character issues. I think they don't want to deal with what they had to deal with last year with Jermaine Pratt. And so far, what they've done is draft amazing locker room guys. Demetrius Knight, is a leader. He will lead the locker room 100%. Same with Shamar Stewart. He's a locker room guy. He's a joyful guy. He's a team player. Both of these players are team players. They're both going to contribute into the locker room and build a culture that is better for the team in the future. And then same with the 3rd round pick, which we'll get to in a little bit. That's why this is a steal, because of his leadership qualities. He is a leader. He is a captain. And now he's going to be next to our defensive captain, Logan Wilson. Logan Wilson and Demetrius Knight Jr. in the second line of the defense as linebackers is going to be a deadly 1-2 punch of the running defensive run game. And considering now we have to go up against Quinshon Judkins because he got drafted by the Browns, I give this draft grade a B+ because of his character, because of his leadership quality, because he's an absolute demon on the field. Go watch him. He says his motto is, whenever I'm on the field, I am hunting. And why am I hunting? Because I have to feed my family. That is why. He is going to kill some people on the field. Not literally, but he's going to kill some people, pancaking people. He's going to be a monster. He's going to turn over the ball. He's going to make sure Joe Burrow, like Al Golden says, has the ball more than 80% of the time every single game. What a steal for the Cincinnati Bengals because of his character and the fact that he's an absolute demon on the field. B+, but the only reason I think you maybe could have gotten him in the third round and then flip-flopped these two picks that I'm going to talk about, but they didn't want to stress it out anymore. They didn't want to wait for him any longer. This was the guy they wanted at linebacker, which is a very, very thin position for the Cincinnati Bengals, and it was a very, very thin draft position this year. Linebacker was. There wasn't a lot of linebackers deep in the draft. I was kind of surprised they didn't go after Jack Kaiser a little bit later, considering the connection with Al Golden, but we got Demetrius Knight Jr. in the second round. Then, moving on to the third round, Dylan Fairchild, offensive guard from Georgia. No, we didn't get Tate Ratledge, offensive guard from Georgia. We went with the other guy on the other side of the field, Dylan Fairchild, offensive guard from Georgia. PFF grade last year, 74.6 PFF grade. Sacks allowed, only 1 sack allowed last season, and 1 hurry allowed. I love this pick. I really, really wanted Tate Ratledge, mainly because he had a mullet. Anyways, they are basically the same player. Both extremely talented. Both extremely talented at using their hands. Extremely quick with their feet. He is an absolute demon, just like Knight on the field. Fairchild on the opposite side of the field is a demon. Brother is sending defensive tackles all the way, pushing them into their linebackers. Go watch this film. He did it against Tennessee. This brother is an absolute beast. I have this graded as an A because of it being in the third round and him being basically equivalent to Tate Ratledge, which we would have had a draft in the second round, but you got him a little bit later. Steal of a draft. 2 steals, in my opinion, and also his character. He might not be that, I don't know how, because I don't want to say this. How do I say this correctly? But he's that typical O-lineman energy where, he'll grab like a beer can and smash on his head before a game. That's what Fairchild reminds me of. He's going to die for Joe Burrow. Literally said he's going to die for Joe Burrow in the interview after he got picked. So I love both picks. We go edge rusher, we get a linebacker, and then we go guard. Those are probably, linebacker and guard, probably the thinnest positions on the offense. On the Cincinnati Bengals roster. We could have gone guard a little bit later, but the fact that we got Fairchild, who had the same amount of scores as Tate Ratledge did in the draft cycle and the combine, the fact we got him round 3, absolute steal with his character. Same with Demetrius Knight Jr. His character, his leadership is going to be effective day 1. And everybody we have drafted so far will be day 1 starters. I think Shamar Stewart will be a day 1 starter for that defensive edge room. Maybe Osai might start over him a little bit. But Demetrius Knight Jr. will definitely start day 1 in the linebacker room. And then Dylan Fairchild, in my opinion, 100% starting day 1. They even said, Scott Peters already said, and Dan Pitcher already said, he is, of course, fighting for that left guard position. And that's like we talked about with Tate Ratledge, the fact that he was a former teammate of Amarius Mims. So is Dylan Fairchild. Dylan Fairchild played a few years with Amarius Mims. He even said after he got picked, he called Amarius Mims right away, and they were both fired up that they're going to play with each other. Again, now it's looking like our offensive line, unless we make some more signings, it will be left to right. It will be Orlando Brown Jr., Dylan Fairchild, Ted Karras, Lucas Patrick, and then Amarius Mims will be our offensive line to protect Joe Burrow when they win the Super Bowl in the 2025 NFL season. So, 2 steals in day 2 of the draft. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I'm going to get the video out earlier so it actually can be posted on what I want us to do in day 3 of the NFL draft. One of the names I'm going to say is Kobe Bryant. But thank you so much for watching this video. Well, the only thing I was a little bit upset about is the fact we weren't able to get Xavier Watts. I really, really wanted Xavier Watts on the Cincinnati Bengals, considering his connection with Al Golden. And we had 2 chances to get him. We could have drafted him in the 2nd round where I thought he was going to go. And then he even fell to the 3rd round. And the Cincinnati Bengals had another opportunity to draft him in the 3rd round. But with the 2 picks that we made, I'm extremely happy. I know yesterday I didn't seem too happy. But now, as time and time, we go on and go on. As I look more into each of these players and their character, I am falling in love with each of them. Obviously, I want them to do the best they can because they are now a Cincinnati Bengals. But very happy with the draft so far. So honestly, through the first 3 rounds, I guess the average goes out to like a B. A B so far, I would give the Cincinnati Bengals draft. So far, next round, be prepared for tomorrow. Hopefully, I probably will get the video out what I hope and predict the Cincinnati Bengals to do. Then obviously after the rounds, I will give a breakdown on what the Cincinnati Bengals actually did and where I think they went wrong, if they went wrong, or where I think they went right, if they get it right. But thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Bengals Digest channel as we're on the road to 1,500 subscribers. Comment down below how you felt about Demetrius Knight and Dylan Fairchild being Cincinnati Bengals. Share this video with Bengal friends because Bengal football is better together. But for the Bengals Digest channel, I'm Carson Lokey. Have an amazing one, and God bless.